When I got the call from DC Comics to write Batman, the ongoing series, it was super surreal. I've wanted to write Batman my whole life. It's definitely been a very big dream of mine. I have a Batman tattoo. It's always been something I wanted to do. And I've gotten the opportunity to work on Batman a few times. I've actually gotten to write on this Batman series since Rebirth. It was just something that was really important to me. And so when I got that call, I couldn't wait to get started on working, and immediately diving into it, thinking about the world. And like that night, I went and I watched the first Batman movie, the 1989 one, just to kind of remind myself of something of why I love Batman. So it was very, very surreal, but at the same time, I was just so excited to get to work, like just to dive right in and get to writing. If you've been reading Batman recently or haven't been reading Batman recently, it was important to me that both those things were taken care of here. That I honored what James had been doing before in the book for the last 2 years, but then I also wanted to make sure that if you hadn't been reading it, you could just jump right into it. Part of the story is that we're coming out of Fear State, which is a big Batman event. And afterwards, Gotham's gone through a bit of a change. They've all kind of survived this scarecrow attack. And so the city is sort of changed. And Batman sees that. And because of the events of Fear State, Batman is actually leaving Gotham for a bit. And so it gives us kind of a point of a new story, of a new case, of Batman being able to leave Gotham and you're able to pick it up there. So it allows you, if you're coming into it new, you get to have kind of a new case and a new adventure. So keeping James's run in mind, I think one of the things that James really brought to it was a lot of excitement. And he really brought a lot of new things to it, new characters, new ideas, and new toys. And so I wanted to keep that running. I wanted to be able to still introduce new characters, like we're introducing this new villain whose name is Abyss. And we're going to go play with some new toys in the DCU with Batman. But I also wanted to bring Bruce back into the main DCU and start having interact with different pieces of DCU we haven't seen in a while. And then for me, one of the things with James's run was and I mean, this goes back to James' detective run too. It's Bruce plus a major supporting cast of characters. You had Ghostmaker and Punchline and Harley. And I wanted to keep some of that running, but I wanted to get back into Bruce's head and spend some time with just Batman and make sure everything was through his point of view. And that was one of the ways I was going to kind of depart from what he was doing and take it on my own spin, was to make it much more about just Batman by himself on this adventure. So with this new run, like I said before, we're introducing this new villain. Their name is Abyss. See, for me, it's always been interesting of how Batman uses the darkness and shadows he uses them as a weapon against people. And so I started thinking, what if somebody figured out how to use that against Bruce, against Batman? And so that's where we started developing Abyss as a character who also learns how to use the darkness, but also can take the way Batman uses it, learn from it, and then turn it around and use it as a weapon against him. They were a really fun character, and the way we're doing their powers is super different. So it's gonna be really interesting. And then Jorge Molina, who came in and got to do a new design for this character and really just kicked butt with it. I think with Jorge, he brings a kind of calm horror and tension to it. I've been a fan of Jorge's Molina's for a long time. I actually recommended Jorge years ago because Jorge would do all these awesome pinups of Batman online. And so I started showing that work to DC and being like, this guy should do Batman someday. This guy should do Batman someday. And sure enough, the day that they call me to do Batman, they're also like, oh, Jorge's going to do it. So it all just kind of came together. When I was recommending him for that job, it wasn't for me. It was just, I thought he would do a really great job with that character. And sure enough, I got lucky and he gets a job with me. And so far, the thoughtfulness that he puts into Gotham, into the characters, and into kind of this energy of Gotham and Batman is bringing so much to it.